rightly said, a visionary leader is Rahul sir to kindly introduce sir. Over to you.
It's my privilege and honor to introduce Mr. Atul Lall, who is Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Dixon Technologies India Limited, which is a 50,000 crore company. He holds a master's degree in Management Studies from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani. Since the inception of Dixon Technology, he has been instrumental in steering the company to its leadership position in the electronic manufacturing services EMS industry. With over 31 years of experience in the EMS industry, his forte lies in introduction of new product segments and the rollout of scalable expansion strategies. Mr. Lall serves as a board member of other two group companies, holds the position of independent director on the board of Happy Forging Limited, non-executive director of Aditya Infotech Limited, non-independent director at Max Estates, and is a member of the governing board of Palashka University. He has also served as president of Electronic Industrials Association of India, ELSINA, from 2023 to 2024. He was appointed as the chair of FICCI Committee on Mobile Manufacturing for 2025-2026. Mr. Lall has been recognized with numerous accolades, including the Electronics Man of the Year Award by ELSINA for 2025. I think let's give a big round of applause. Distinguished Alumnus Award 2025 by BITS Plani. India's Best CEO Consumer Deliverable Awards in 2024 by Fortune India. And the Man of Electronics Award in 2022 by Krima. He is an avid reader and the author of book Gita and India. Let's join hands together in welcoming Mr. Atul Lall to deliver his speech on the topic. Thank you very much.
GMA for hosting me today morning. Mr. Rajesh Sinha, interestingly, your thought process and my thought process is so similar. So you might find an element of repetitiveness in my thoughts that I'm going to share with you. Thanks for hosting me once again. Dignitaries on the dais, founding members and executive committee members of GMA, people from the industry, academia, students, ladies and gentlemen. The world today is going through one of the most disruptive phases in the modern economic history. The assumptions on which businesses operated for last many decades post-World War II are changing rapidly. It's geopolitics, it's technology, it's trade, it's supply chains, it's capital flows, and even the consumer behavior. So I think the topic of discussion today is extremely apt. The nature of disruptions which are shaping the global economy, and of course how we as business leaders need to respond to these changes. So obviously the objective is not to predict the future, because I don't think anybody can predict the future with certainty. But I think we can deliberate, debate, and arrive at some kind of a consensus to move forward. The first disruption is the dismantling of the rule-based economic system which had been governing the businesses post-World War II. We had the multilateral institutions, we had GATT, we had WTO, we had various agencies. We had Washington Consensus, we had Bretton Woods, we had uniform tariff structures, we had open markets, we had integrated supply chains, and of course we had a positive role of the United States as a global stabilizing force. We all had a belief. It emanated from the famous book of Thomas Friedman that the world is flat. But lately, in the last 5-7 years, there has been a rising protectionism and economic nationalism, changing the way the business has to be done. Last April 25, President Trump, he announced tariffs. Tariffs went on to China up to 150%. We in India were not spared. Initially, there was panic across global markets. Markets crashed in India and across the world. There were predictions that the world is heading for another recession. But interestingly, if you see the numbers, the last quarter growth rate in US was as high as 4.4%. The markets were at extreme high. Same was the case in India. In spite of the higher tariffs, the Q2 growth of 25-26 was 8.2%, and the Q3 was 7.8%. But my personal sense is that 2025, somehow we have escaped the difficult times. This was a transition. Is it going to carry on the same way? I think one of our strategies, of course, always should be to de-risk, and we need to think about it. I feel that we have to gear up for that phase. In the last quarter, we are seeing the numbers. In US, coming under stress, the growth is at 2%, and the inflation is inching up to almost 3.3%. I was in US last month, and there are concerns for a normal man on the inflationary side. They're worried about the cost of eggs, grocery, petrol has gone up from $2.2 a gallon to $4 a gallon. So there are concerns, and this is going to have an impact all over the world. There is going to be inflation, there is going to be fiscal pressures, there is going to be increase in government expenditure. I don't think we're heading for another round of interest rate cuts. There is going to be decreasing disposable incomes. And further disruption has been further accentuated by the war in the Gulf. The second disruption, the second extremely important element, is advancement of AI. I think we must all accept, and accept in a positive way, that artificial intelligence is a reality. We cannot be Luddites. We cannot challenge it. It's there. We have to embrace it for positivity. But is it a bubble? Is it a bubble similar to what happened in 1990s on .com side? Or if we go back in the history, what happened to the railway industry in 1870s? Or what happened to the lighting industry, energy industry in 1910? It's a difficult question to answer, but when you deeply analyze, this time the hyperscalers who are investing possibly $1 trillion a year, the likes of Microsoft or Amazon or Google, their balance sheets are very strong. Each one of them is generating almost $100 billion of cash. I don't think it's a similar situation. I don't think it's a bubble. I think it's a reality to stay. Although there is an element of doubt, you have companies like OpenAI, you have companies like Anthropic. The last fundraise was at the valuation of almost $800 billion. And I think next 4-5 years, they're going to be burning cash of almost $100 billion. Is it going to have an impact on the world? I think we in business need to be very conscious of these things, because they have a direct impact on we business houses in India. Are there going to be job cuts, or at least transition of jobs? We have heard We have seen that Oracle announced 30,000 job cuts. We have seen Google announcing a similar number, Amazon 11,000, Meta 8,000, and even the non-hyperscalers have announced cuts. We have seen Nike, we have seen Coinbase, and we have seen the situation with the Indian IT services. It has been challenging. So it's not that, so there are job cuts, but at the same time, we are also predicting an intensive increase in the productivity levels, which again is going to lead to productivity. You see, it's something similar. Please appreciate, from 15th century to 17th century, there was no growth in the world. And when the technological developments happened and the growth rate improved, poverty eliminated. Some pundits are predicting that because of AI, the growth rate in the world, which is as high as 3.5%, can go up to even high single digits, eliminating complete poverty. But the important thing is that we have to align ourselves accordingly. Industries have to move from reactive decision-making to predictive and intelligent systems. Business models are becoming increasingly data-driven, automated, and personalized. I agree, economies of scale is no more the core. AI is reducing innovation cycles, accelerating decision-making, and redefining the customer engagement and behavior. Companies are no longer competing on scale or capital, but on speed of learning, quality of data, and ability to integrate intelligence into their operations. In all this, I think an extremely important element is China. We cannot ignore China. I personally visited China 100 times, and I've seen that country grow. One has a deep insight. It is, let's give credit to them. It's a nation of builders. Deng Xiaoping, when he started the reforms, he ensured that engineers are there in the Politburo. Xi Jinping is a chemical engineer. Hu Jintao before him was a hydraulic engineer. In 2002, all the Politburo members were engineers. Just compare it with US. In the last 45 presidents of United States of America, only 2 have been engineers. Jimmy Carter and Herbert Hoover. See the difference. Most of them have been the lawyers from Harvard and Yale. Nothing against lawyers, but builders have a different perspective. Look at the numbers. China built, it's been Beijing and Shanghai in 9 years. Similar distance between LA and San Francisco. They will take 27 years. China has followed, if you read the latest Professor Ramcharan's book, something called as 90%. They create global capacities which are almost 90% of the global requirements. Till now, they've undervalued the currency. State supported the businesses. Long-term thinking of the entrepreneurs, and they have dominated the world. Any industry, I have some numbers. Steel, 53% of the global capacity in China. Shipbuilding, 56%. Let me give you some numbers. 2024, China built 1,700 ships. US built 4. India built none. Solar, 60%. EVs, 60%. Batteries, 80%. Drones, 70%. In my own industry, mobile phones, 65%. Televisions, almost 70%. So that's where they are, and we should not undermine them. They're an important element. China is not only dominating manufacturing landscape, but also taking US head-on in the new age industries like AI, biosciences, space. They're talking about flying vehicles, new energy, rare earth. And I personally feel that the conflict in Iran is some kind of a proxy war between US and China. And I think we as business leaders need to be extremely conscious of all this, because somewhere or the other, it has a deep impact on our businesses. Now let's come to our own country. We in India undoubtedly have multiple opportunities. And of course, along with opportunity, the challenges. The world is actively looking for alternatives and resilient supply chains. And we have a historic opportunity to position ourselves to be part of global value chains. I feel that various industries, because I think we need to be part of those industries which are having a tailwind, they are in the sunrise, they're having a huge potential and opportunity pool. With my limited understanding, I feel that my own industry has huge potential. The industry has grown in the last 7 years from $30 billion to $150 billion. We feel that from 26 to 31, this $150 billion is going to be $500 billion. So semicon and advanced manufacturing, defense, pharmaceuticals, generative AI, space technology, and new energy. Now these are the opportunities which one feels should be looked into, deep dived, pursued, analyzed, invested upon. But in India we have many challenges. Let's humbly accept that we have gaps in our infrastructure and logistics. We have gaps in our talent pool, aligned, as Mr. Sinha mentioned, that there has to be much deeper alignment between knowledge and skill, which both industry and academia need to bridge together. We have huge dependence on imports of critical technologies and components. We have lower investment in R&D as compared to our global peers. We have complex regulations still and slower execution cycles. And in many sectors, we have a tendency to look at short-term financial gains. I've seen in China, they think 25, 30 years hence. We have got so much enthused by the market capitalizations in the financial world that we have started looking too much at quarter on quarter. So John Keynes was absolutely apt that in long term you are dead, but long term should not be undermined. And this is being reflected also in the numbers. Because we are too much on the market cap, we are too much on profitability and cash generation. We undermine the future. We are a $3.94 trillion economy. And the market cap is $5 trillion. China is $20, $21 trillion. They're $13 trillion. See the amount of investments they make in R&D. I have myself been to the factory of Xiaomi. Xiaomi was a company started in a garage in 2009. Today, they are the third largest mobile manufacturer in the world. And for the last 5 years, they've worked on EVs. You wouldn't believe, sir, I went to their factory. A car comparable to Maybach was available for 600,000 RMB. That's 80, 90 lakh rupees. And as Rajeshji said, all this is in-house, and we need to acquire a similar confidence, commitment, and execution cycle. We need to grow beyond profitability, because what we need for running our families or running our business is not much. We need to look at something beyond it. And what's extremely important, beyond the financial numbers, is the acquisition, nurturing, curating of the capabilities. For example, let's say in my company, I want to design a mobile phone. I don't have engineers who understand antenna. I don't have engineers who understand precision engineering. I don't have engineers who understand RF, chemistry, laser, optics, LiDAR. And we have capability to do that, and we must do that. So that long-term thinking, capability acquisition, investment in technology and R&D, homegrown talent, homegrown capabilities is extremely, extremely important. We must be humble, and we must also recognize that all the countries are working on their own and economic nationalism is on the rise. So this competition is extremely tense. And China has been working on this for decades. It's not that we're not capable of catching up, but we need to get our act fast. We can't be just thinking that we're doing very well. Of course we're doing well, but we have to do much more. Both in the business level, at the country level, at the execution level, at the state capacity level. That's what I feel. So this changing global landscape presents both immense opportunities and significant responsibilities for businesses. In such an environment, the role of leadership becomes even more critical. And as we were discussing, our eminent speaker said that we need to be agile and nimble because the pace of change has really accentuated, it has enhanced. So of course, as business leaders, I think that all of us need to read every day any statement what Trump is making, what Xi Jinping is making, what Putin is making, what Mohammed bin Salman is making, or what Mr. Modi is making. It has an impact on our business. It may be big or small. I mean, today's announcement, the federal court judgment, that a 10% tariff has been waived off. Now, what implication is it going to have on our export business? It's a daily phenomenon. We have to gear up for inflationary pressures. The costs are going to go up. The freight rate from China to India has gone up from $1,000 to $2,600. Cost of polymer has gone up from 102 to 150. Interest rates with inflationary impact is not going to come down. So we have to gear up for inflation. I would also go further down that we need to keep a tab on the currency movements. If you see, dollar has appreciated in the last 1 year by 12.6%. All of us were feeling, who do global business, that Chinese RMB is a better bet. Because Chinese, they always keep their currency undervalued to become globally competitive. But you see the change in last 4 months. Chinese RMB is appreciated much more, and if you compare on the annualized basis, dollar is appreciated by 12.6%, RMB is appreciated by 19.3%. So how do you plan your business? And of course, in our own respective businesses, we have to drive operational excellence through productivity improvements and embracing AI and technology. Future competitiveness will depend on leaner and smarter operations. For example, AI-driven predict reduce machine downtime. Businesses must embed AI into planning, quality control, forecasting, and decision-making systems. It has to be democratized. The decision has to be taken by a supervisor on the shop floor. He needs those tools. He needs that skill. He needs that empowerment. We sitting in our glorified boardrooms cannot take and should not take those decisions. The next is a normal good quality will not work. There has to be obsession with the customer. The customers, the companies must be deeply aligned with evolving customers' expectations, affordability concerns, and changing buying behavior. This requires a very fast feedback system, strong customer analytics, and continuous innovation in the customer experience. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we have to encourage deep innovation, sustained investment in R&D and technology capabilities. Long-term competitiveness will come only from innovation and technology depth. businesses must invest more aggressively in product development, in-house IP creation, deep tech capabilities, product innovation, faster go-to-market cycles, and built mostly around your business. This will, and that's the key now, and that's the most important building block. We need a pipeline of talent. And I think we as business leaders, our first mandate is to build the people organization, that what talent pipeline we have. I might be wrong in my next recommendation, but I feel that in these times of uncertainties, we have to keep our debt levels low, keep our leveraging positions low. So that's what I had to comment. I would have quoted Karmanya Vadikaraste, but I thought that he has already shared that. I would like to conclude with a shlok from the 17th chapter of Gita. It goes like this. This is Krishna telling Arjun, Satvana Rupa Sarvasya Shraddha Mahevati Bharata Shraddha Mayoma Purusho Yoyo Yashadra Yasavesa. So he's telling Arjun, everyone's devotion is as per his, her personality and nature. A person is nothing but his commitment, like man. I humbly request everyone to make this commitment to take our businesses, industry, society, and the country forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich insights and especially sensitizing all of us to the, deep-rooted impact which disruptions are having on almost all walks of life, be it individuals, organizations, professions, countries, and society at large. And definitely amidst all this disruption, we Indians, we have a huge potential to position our country and most importantly, having a long-term perspective. So thank you so much. And definitely the theme of the conference, leadership, resilience, as again pointed out by you, that could be a game changer. And that is what this today's conference, it aspires to ponder upon. Thank you so much, sir, once again for your insights. And we now request our dignitaries to kindly step forward for release of the convention souvenir. Please, sirs. So audience, you can also scan the QR code which are there on your badges for downloading the souvenir, and the QR code is also displayed on the standees. Can we have a round of applause for this moment? The souvenir primarily features acknowledgements of our contributors, details and history of GMA, profiles of dignitaries, information on office bearers and functionaries, and also it features various articles on the convention theme. Thank you, dignitaries. Of gratitude to our eminent guests. Can we have a round of applause for them once again? And we request IC Agarwal sir to kindly present a token of gratitude to Rajesh Sinha sir. Please, sir. Thank you, sir, for being with us and sharing your insights with us. We also request Mr. N.K. Dhan, sir, to kindly present a token of gratitude, a memento. Okay. So, sirs, you can... Thank you once again. Yeah, we request our dignitaries to please join us for a group photograph. As we come to the close of today's inaugural, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Umang Gupta, Senior VP GMA and Director Operations Vaika Ghaziabad and Director Calibration Service Business Vaika India. He's having over 2 decades of experience and has been instrumental in driving operational excellence, leading global integrations and transforming businesses into high growth, profitable operations, from turning around businesses to tripling growth, and from bringing global technologies to India for strengthening the Make in India vision. His leadership truly reflects impact, innovation, and excellence. I request you, sir, to kindly propose the vote of thanks for this session. You can be seated for a little more while.
Good morning, everyone. Respected guests, industry leaders, and esteemed colleagues. As we bring the inaugural ceremony of the 36th National Annual Convention to a close, it is my honor and privilege to deliver this vote of thanks. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. Rajesh Sinha, for his inspiring words, his thoughts on the leadership and strengthen the today dynamics global landscape. We have not only enlightened us, but also challenged us to think bigger, act bolder, and lead with purpose. So I was just inspired with his thoughts, what he has given. And one quote he has told, keep moving and never give up. This is a very important point as on date for us in India. So currently, we have heard both of the chief guest and guest of honor. It is a right time for India for development, because all over world, somewhere something is happening. So if we will follow the guidelines and what are the thoughts we have got it, so that is very, very important for India as on date to grow next 10 years. So next 10 years, if you see, as I was thinking what we are doing as a Vika company, so everywhere in the world, it is a right thought that next 10 years is going to happen only for India. Because we are nurturing, we are developing, we are exploring. A special thanks to our guest of honor, Mr. Atul, whose insights on innovation and manufacturing excellence remind us that progress born from vision, courage, and ongoing efforts for the quality side. Your presence has truly elevated this occasion. So what we are doing, so rightly Mr. Atul and Mr. Rajesh said, R&D investments. So R&D investment is very, very important as on date for India, which we industries always keep as a back. So China, when we are listening here, so China is rightly did 20, 30, 40 years ago, they have really invested. 5 weeks back, I was in China and I was seeing their companies, how they are growing, how they are working, how they are treating their people. So recently also to calibrate this topic in our company, we have also signed one MOU with Quality Council of India with the help of GMA. Now we are working to elevate our Ghaziabad units. How can we improve our quality and the lean topics in our all factories? I would also like to acknowledge our committee president, Mr. Pandey, for his visionary guidance and the entire organizing committee. And a special thanks to Rahul ji for making this event so successful and his committed dedication. Behind every successful convention lies contextless hours of planning, collaboration, and passions. And today, seamless, this inaugural session is a clear example of that spirit. And I would also thanks to Agarwal sir, Than sir, where they have really planted a small tree of GMA years ago. And now we are in a situation when we are working and helping to the Ghaziabad industry in a bigger way. So my appreciation also goes to our sponsors, partners, and supporting organizers for their continued trust